you to do is follow the rules and do these couple things a day for me. So you should know to do it and not worry about me yelling at you or whatever. You should just want to do it because I've done these other things
But
for
don't you like to surround yourself and go out of your way to surround yourself that were either raised that way or they evolved to become that way? So isn't it somewhat self-selection? When I look at your key employees here, they've by and large been with you a while. Many of them served with you or their spouses served with you. So you've seemed to have tried hard to pick people to be part of your team that would respond well to being in a loyal environment where you're going to give loyalty and you're going to expect loyalty in return.
For sure. I think once, and like I said, you're right. My management team, I've been very lucky. I have a really good management team that are all very close friends. Again, to a fault sometimes. It makes things hard. But all in all, it's been very good for me, and I think it's been very good for them as well. I think they all were brought up the right way, where they do understand that loyalty the way I do. And I think it's important that they do, because I think they can help instill it in the employees below them that maybe don't understand how that type of relationship is supposed to work. Mm-hmm. So I think that's part of it, is having that really tight circle and the core of people that do understand how this system works. The one hand washes the other type of system, right? And I think because of that, people that may not have been very open to that type of relationship become open to it, because they're
correct,
they're
or they won't fit into the culture, and
obvious.
One way or another they're going to move on.
The circle.
So, we're relatively. I mean, I'm 48. You're about 10 years younger than I am, I think, right? Although you have a birthday coming
9 years.
You're catching up. Compared to previous generations, like your parents, my parents, they were in a different business world. But do you think there's a shortage of loyalty in the business world today? And if so, why?
100%. And unfortunately, I see it getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I hate to have that outlook, but I do. And a lot of it might not be their fault. Some of it's parenting. Mm-hmm. Some of it is not getting that upbringing where you actually, you teach people to take care of other people and help other people. I grew up where that was very, very important. And I think that stemmed from just an immigrant community that had to, at one point, that's all they had, was to take care of each other. Mm-hmm. So I think I learned a lot of that from my family, who learned it from their parents when they came off the boat. And then I kind of took it from there, and I've continued it on, again, to a fault a lot of times. But I think between that, and I think the changes in technology aren't helping, unfortunately, with the loyalty when it comes to brand loyalty, company loyalty, stuff like that. So now, and even myself, I catch myself, I have, Amazon Prime, and it's very convenient for us. We're very busy. We're raising 2 kids, running two or three businesses. I don't have a lot of time to go around and clip ads and go get my coupons for whatever store. And I remember my grandmother and grandfather going to 4 to 5 different stores, to get their groceries, because they say, oh, the broccoli's cheaper over here. But now, I couldn't tell you the last 10 companies that I bought goods from, because it's honestly whatever pops up first on Amazon, which always happens to be the cheapest, right? Because that's how they sort. And that's what we click on, right? So because the information is there, maybe before when you were buying something, like even some of the products that I manufacture, local customers would walk in my store locally and they don't know any better. The price is on the wall. That's the price it is. They don't wonder what Joe's price is in Wisconsin or Bob's price in Ohio. They just know my price. And it's just simple capitalism. Is it worth your $20 to buy this product? If it is, then you buy it. If you don't, you don't. Well, now they have access. Everybody has an online store.
Price discovery.
Everything they can research everything. Across the globe, and they have all this information right at their fingertips. And I think that helps them stray easier from going to your local brick and mortar store and buying things.
But I think that's true from the customer level, the breakdown of branding and loyalty. But that really doesn't speak to the customer part. And it seems like employees are much less loyal to their employers, and employers are certainly less loyal to their employees.
Well, you see that for sure.
And also, like you said, the vendors, and some of that is the price discovery, because we're kind of melding in the customer and all. And it's a shame, but at the same time, I believe that part of my success, to the extent that I've had it, and I would say probably the same for you, is that when you deliver loyalty and you find the right people that appreciate that loyalty and they value it, that you will win and beat out the competition, because that topic is just lost on them. And it does give you a competitive advantage, even if every once in a while you get beat out.
I believe so. I think it pays dividends in a lot of different ways. And like you said, with my team here, I have a pretty veteran team as far as years with the company.
Yeah.
Compared to other similar businesses here in town.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that gives us a big advantage a lot of times with getting things done. We have a team that works a lot better together because they've worked with each other a lot longer. And we can communicate faster. We can do things a lot quicker and simpler than teams made up of new employees every month that they're constantly rotating in and out.
Mm-hmm. So we went a little longer than I would have anticipated. But if somebody is listening and they're in a leadership role, whether it's on a sports team or a company or a division within a company in corporate America, wherever, can you give one or two tips on, hey, if you want to create more loyalty, some tips, some managerial tips that they may want to consider?
I think the only tip I would say I have, and it's something that I'm constantly battling on how to work it on. So when you do something, you've always been taught, like, well, you don't rub it in people's faces, and you don't do it because, to get anything out of it. You do it because it's the right thing to do, right?
Right.
Well, in a business sense, my compromise to, hey, I'm stupid for doing this in business because it's a bad business decision, right? Or I'm way too nice, everybody. My compromise in between there is to kind of make it known and make them understand, because I think some of them don't.
Right.
So I've had some younger employees that were here for less than a year, and they had some quick money flashed in front of them for some union type work here in town, not understanding that it was temporary work, not understanding what all was involved with it, what they get out of it, past their pay and any of that. So they saw that they had a chance to make $2 to $3 an hour more than they did here. Well, they left, and within a week, both of them called me, apologized. The work was 3 times harder than what they were doing here physically. They didn't get free lunch on Fridays anymore, and they realized that adds up to $600, $700, $800 a year out of their pocket now that they're.
I should have come here on Friday.
See,
because you keep bringing this up. That's really what I'm thinking.
Should have. The company that they're working for doesn't give Christmas bonuses or any other type of bonuses. No fancy Christmas party to take your wife to. All these little things added up. Paid holidays, 401k plan. All these benefits that we offer, the health benefits that we offer, the paid vacation.
So what you're saying is that you have to not be humble and assume that people are going to connect the dots. But the tip for listeners, and actually it's one that I'm going to use myself, is to be direct and say, I'm going to do this because of X, Y, and Z, and make sure the dots are connected and there's no miscommunication. You don't have to be a blowhard about it, but I think that's a great tip.
No, I agree. I just think that some of them just don't see it that way. They don't see the monetary value in some of the perks they get or benefits they get, the free coffee and a lot of little things. But all those little things add up quite a bit.
Good. Well, I think that's a good place to end it. Thank you very much. It was a great discussion. I don't know if you realize it, but having known you as well as your dad, I think you took the best of what your dad did in terms of being loyal and building loyalty. And I meet a lot of people in my business and personal travels, and I think it is a special skill for you. And hopefully you realize how good you are, because that is, I think, a good key ingredient in your overall success. So it was great talking to you about that.
Appreciate it, Chris.
Listeners, thank you. Please go to my website, www.elliottwealth.com, and subscribe to this podcast. Thank you.
The views expressed are not necessarily the opinion of SagePoint Financial Incorporated and should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risks, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Please note, the information being provided is strictly as a courtesy. When you link to any of the websites provided here, you are leaving this website. We make no representation as to the completeness or accuracy of the information provided at these websites, nor is the company liable for any direct or indirect technical or system issues or any consequences arising out of your access to your use of third-party technologies, websites, information, and programs made available through this website. When you access one of these websites, you are leaving our website and assume total responsibility and risk for your use of the websites you are linking to. Securities and advisory services are offered through SagePoint Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Insurance services offered through Elliott Wealth Management, LLC, not affiliated with SagePoint Financial.
It was a New York scene from a small town dream. I was flying high, I was feeling fine. I won't be put in line, 'cause I'm ready to do my time.
Simply Financial is part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can find Exvadio Podcasts at exvadio.com/podcast, the Apple Podcasts app, iTunes Store, iHeartRadio app, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever you find podcasts. So join us and stay informed and entertained.